translation of Genesis 1:1, that's it. When God began to create the heavens and the earth. The translation, when God began to create, is a completely legitimate translation. In fact, it more accurately reflects the Masoretic text, the traditional Hebrew text that we have. So let's go back here. We got two possible translations. If we opt for the when translation, now catch this, the writer is describing conditions that already exist before God actually creates anything, before God actually speaks anything into existence. In other words, you have a situation where verses 1 and 2 lead to verse 3, and they set it up. The first creative act, the first thing God does in Genesis 1 through 3, in this view, is not verse 1. It's verse 3. That's the very first thing that God speaks into existence. For lack of a better term, I couldn't think of anything that's very witty or alliterated. I put Hebrew syntax view because this is strict Hebrew syntax. Syntax is sentence structure, sentence relationships. If you take the alternate view, it allows these assertions about what's happening in Genesis 1 through 3. Genesis 1 is not the absolute beginning. And Genesis 1 through 3 describes an ordering or a fashioning, doing something with matter that already existed. Now that, of course, raises what obvious question? Well, where'd that come from? Yeah, if something's already there, who put that there? Okay, and why do we ask that question? I can tell you right now, a Semite, an ancient Israelite, would have looked at you, in this case it's my wife, and said, "What are you talking about? Who cares?" What a pointless question. We ask that question why? Because we're moderns and we're thinking scientifically. We've got to account for that. I've got to account for that pre-existing matter. What do I do? What do I do? I got to ask that question because, scientifically we know that matter isn't just there. It's got to start from, that's what's going through our heads.
Shomase! Hey everyone, this is Joseph. Welcome to the channel. So I wasn't going to talk about this article and just share the clip from Dr. Heiser, but I was like, wait, revealing the start of time itself? Ripples in the fabric of the universe may peer back to the beginning of everything we know. It has this image like the magnetic field with the jets.
Perfectly aligned with the stars and everything else. I think that the story that we're told is probably not the story. I think that there's a whole other world hidden beneath this world that we have been allowed to see. And I think that the instant you start asking for more, it's when you start seeing more. But you got to open yourself to the possibility that there could be more.
Scientists have advanced in discovering how to use ripples in space-time known as gravitational waves to peer back to the beginning of everything we know. Space-time is another word for the ether. The researchers say they can better understand the state of the cosmos by learning how these ripples in the fabric of the universe flow through planets. Kind of sounds like the Aurora Borealis. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Arigato. Mata ne.